Today I want to show you how to do a data grid view, sort of the easy way. I want to make sure that we start out at the same place. So if you go to your Visual Studio installer, it's the so you can install Visual Studio Community 2019. Hopefully you install that, but you click on Modify. We're actually not going to modify anything. Just want to show you what I have. I have the ASP.NET and web development. Got that clicked. I have the .NET desktop development. I have that clicked. And I also have the data storage and processing. I have that clicked. And we're good to go. So we can go ahead and close it. If you have all those, and if you have more, that's okay. We'll close this. Now we're on the same page. And I'm going to click on the 2019 version here. Sorry, I got a little cough, but it's not COVID. All right, guys, don't freak out on me. And now we're just going to create a new project. I want to show you something very strange, so be careful. I'm going to tell you now, but when it happens to you, don't come crying. All right. So if you're doing C#, you are tempted to click on this first one, especially since it says, hey, a project template for creating a .NET Windows form. That sounds like it's the one you want, but it's not. Actually, you got to go down two more, and it says Windows Forms app .NET Framework in parentheses. Very, very important, because that's the one we need. If you don't click on this one, if you click on this one instead, and you try to bring up data sets, you're going to get, hey, the data sets are not available, and so you just messed up and you're going to have to recreate your whole project again. I'm not sure how to fix that from the project, so I want you to click on the right one, otherwise this won't work. So this is the correct one, and now click on next, and we'll call it Windows Form App. Put a 9. I don't know how many of these I've done already. And create. Okay, so we have the form here, but I want to show you how to add a local database. So we have a database we're accessing. So I want to click on the Windows Form app over here in Solution Explorer, right click on it and go to Add, and then New Item. So click on Data, click on Service Based Database, and the database is going to be called database1.mdf. I'm okay with that name. Look in your Solution Explorer, there it goes. Double click on it on Solution Explorer, because that'll open up the Server Explorer on your left here, and you'll see here that you don't have any tables. Now we're going to add our first table, and it'll basically bring up a Sql Designer for you. So we're going to let it do that, and it's going to allow you to do it graphically, because that's the way it works. It's going to create the SQL down here for you. So if you were proficient in that, you could just type it all in. We're just going to do it the graphical way for now. And so I'm going to click on this ID row up here, and notice that in your properties box, you have, and you guys can just go down maybe, something called Identity Specification. Now, if you click on false here, it does nothing for you other than highlight the word false. So click on this box here and click Is Identity, and now you can double click here and it'll change it to true. Identity increment 1, identity seed 1. Okay, and now it's added it over here to your table. Definition, identity. Ta-da. Okay, so we've done it. And let's add some more fields here. How about full name and nvar char? This is the worst part about it. Watch me type. 50 sounds good. and I don't want to allow nulls for that. But let's say phone number is next, and var char 50, it's good for that. It's okay to be null. Address and var char 50, and again it's okay to be null. Now it's down here, it's creating the SQL for you, okay? And you can see where it said not null or null and all that good stuff. So there's no real huge magic here. You could have typed all that stuff in. Let's change the name of that table. I don't want that table to be called table. I want it to be called, let's say, persons for now. You could have called it customers. You could have called it people, whatever suits your fancy. But notice that nothing has happened. I can sit here and actually even save this SQL file, but it does nothing for me. Okay, because if I go over to tables and I right click on it and hit refresh, there's still no tables that have been created. So how do I make sure that that's actually created in my database1.mdf? Well, I have to hit this button up here called update. And if your SQL is correct, it's going to get to this part, and you're going to be able to hit the update database. And you're going to see down here that it's doing it. And now you're going to think, hey, this table, I mean, why isn't there a table under it? Well, because it doesn't refresh it. So automatically. So you have to come down here and hit refresh. And ta-da, there is the table. And so this table has now been created inside your file database1.mdf. Ta-da! And you can look at it, and it's got your ID, your full name, your phone number, and your address. Yay! But if you right-click on this, you can now show table data. Now, show table data has this powerful feature that you can add data now to your database. So Bob the Builder, his phone number is 111, and he happens to live at 111 Main Street. Hit enter, and notice that the ID was created for you. And my constructor, and his phone number is 222, and he lives at 222 Main Street. I don't know why I capitalized that. And then one more person, Sue the boss, and 333 and 333 Main Street. Ta-da! All right. And you hit enter, and it's gone 1, 2, 3. And this is actual data that's been created in the person's table inside the database.mdf. So that actually does exist for you. It's not available for us. So this is awesome. This is as we've created the table, and we put data in our table, and this is what the data looks like. So now we have something to play with. So now we can come over here to forms. So we haven't done anything yet, and we want to add all that good stuff. How do we do that? Well, we have to sort of connect our database somehow to our program. And how can we do that? Well, let's say we didn't have this data source table up. And so how do we get that? We can hit Shift, Alt, and D, and we'll get this data sources dialog box to come up. And now we hit Add New Data Source. Click on Database, click on Next, click on Datasets, click on Next. There's your database that you created, and you can even click on, hey, show me the connection string. I want to make sure, yep, look at it. It's right there, database1.mdf. So we're good. Click on Next. You can change this. I don't know why people change this, but you could change it if you wanted to, or just leave it the same. And then the important part here is to click on persons, right? You could have clicked on table, you clicked on persons. I don't know why people choose one over the other. You can change the name of this if you want. Some people call it model data set. I don't really care. Hit finish. Here it is. Database 1 data set. You can click on it, open that up. Ta-da! All that information is in there. So basically, this made a programming representation of this table that's in your database file, which is cool. All that programming, you didn't have to write that programming. This wizard did all that good stuff for you. So if you right click on there, look, DataGridView is right there at the top. There's also details. And now watch this. There's going to be some magic here. It's really cool. We just take it, whoops, and we just drag it over here to our form. And it's beautiful because it's just created all this widgets and controls, and man, all this stuff we now don't even have to look. It's got controls here to walk through the data, even to add and delete and save, and it's very exciting. And you know, you can see all kinds of good stuff in here. In fact, this form is really huge. Let me see if I can make it a little bit smaller. Click on the form, click on the little control tabs here, bring that in there a little bit, bring that up a little bit. All right. Ta-da. And in fact, if we hit start, and wait a second, compiling. Ta-da! Look. It's there, and if you want to be adventurous, you can click over here. Look at that -1. There's something weird about that, and you know, it's kind of frustrating when you see that. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. Come over here, and you notice that we have all this. Right click on this database 1 dataset, and also click on Edit Dataset with Designer. All right, so now here's the designer for this, and it's very powerful. So click on ID, and notice down here that it just didn't pick up something that it probably should have. But the auto increment seed and the auto increment step, they're -1s. I don't know why that is. And maybe it's a bug. You know, if you're at Microsoft, please fix this. But boom, you're done. That fixes that. And then we click on here on this data set and hit save and hit start again. And click down here. Ta-da! Look, there is a 4, right? So you can add something here. True blue, right? 444 and 444 Main Street. Hit enter. Ta-da! 5. Look at that. So I don't know if the save button works, by the way. I don't know if the delete button works. You know, I'm going to try it, and if something bad happens, click delete, you know, and click delete, and I don't know if it's going to save it or not. Hit save and close it. But we got a lot of functionality for free there, and that was pretty exciting. We didn't have to do any actual programming. Let me look at my data. I just want to see if it actually deleted that. Show data table. And no, it didn't really delete that. I guess that save button may not be working, by the way. So, ta-da! We still have our original data in our file, and we got something for free there. All right, I want to show you just a little bit more before I leave this video. Let's talk about editing some of these fields. I didn't even realize that this is going beyond the side here, so let's make sure that's fixed up. But if you right click on this and go to edit columns, you can do a lot of fun stuff. Like, for example, this ID might be a little bit longer than we want, so go down to width and maybe give it half. Okay, and let's say we don't want to include the address, we just want to make this a phone list, so we can actually not display that column. Let's change that to false. And in fact, we would want it, for whatever reason, we want to show the phone number before the name, so we can move that up. and now it will show the phone number, the ID, the phone number, and the full name. And additionally, we want to give the full name a lot more space for whatever reason, just so we can, just to say we can. And if we hit OK on all that good stuff, ta-da, it's done. Again, we didn't have to program any of this cool features. Hit the start button. And there you go. So you can see the full name is twice as long. The phone number is before the full name. The ID is a lot shorter now. And that's how to edit columns from Microsoft. And that was a lot of fun to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, send me a Bitcoin or two. Oh my goodness. Well, if you send me a Bitcoin or two, wow, you're really rich. Anyways, have a good one. Take care. God bless.